Welcome to Wanderlust and Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Crystal.
As travel agents with Fantastical Vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first episode in our resort review series. We started this series. We just want them to be kind of short and sweet so that you can go back, and if you're looking at a particular resort, you can quickly listen in and get the highlights of the resort and decide if it's good or bad or a good fit for you. I promise that this was not rigged or anything. We did a randomizer wheel, and the first resort that came up was the Riviera. I promise, Crystal can vouch for me, this was for real, the randomizer wheel, because I gave a number and not an actual resort name or anything like that when I did it.
I had all these listed out, and she told me the number, and I started giggling. For those who are new here or have not been here before, the Riviera, we so lovingly call the Riv, is also Julie's home resort for her DVC. I'd venture to say they're a bit obsessed.
Yeah, we definitely are very biased when it comes to this resort, for sure. Like, we stay here a lot. Even though we have the option to stay at other DVC resorts, it can be, we'll talk about these things, but some of the things like just the Skyliner is just, and it's just like the perfect size. It just really is. But with each episode, we're going to go through like a quick resort snapshot, and then we're going to go through some of the different details of the resort.
This resort was built specifically for DVC. There are a handful of resorts that are like this. You can still pay cash money and reserve them through the Disney website, but first come, first serve to DVC. So why don't you tell everybody what DVC is?
DVC is Disney's version of a timeshare. It's a little bit different than like a typical timeshare, though. A lot of times with a timeshare, you get like a week stay, and you have to pick whatever your week is, and that's your week every year. And if you don't go on that week, then you have to like basically do, whatever. You have to try to switch it out or request to switch it out for a different location or a different week and that kind of thing. This is more a point system. So you buy points for DVC, and you can use those points however you want to use them. Like, for example, we have 160 points at Riviera, and we can use that throughout the year, and we can split that into multiple vacations, or we can do one longer vacation and use the points. The point system is divided into points per night. And then, of course, as you can imagine, the more popular times of year and then your weekends are going to be more points than a weekday. Another thing is the more popular resorts, the newer resorts, have higher point values than some of the others. So, like if you wanted to stay at Old Key West, it's the OG DVC resort. Its cost and points per night is not going to be the same as staying at the Riviera or the Polynesian or the Grand Floridian. Those three are probably the most expensive as far as points per night.
So we do mention DVC, Disney Vacation Club, a little bit in our regular episodes, but in case you didn't know, that's what it is. So, resort snapshot. The category for this resort is a deluxe villa resort as part of the Disney Vacation Club. It is located in the Epcot Resort area, loosely, and it opened on December 16th, 2019.
The theming is European Riviera, so the French and Italian coastlines. It has a lot of artwork, and just the theming in general around the resort is inspired by Walt and Lillian's travels throughout Europe. And like I said, particularly French and Italian Riviera. It has approximately 300 rooms. This is one of the smaller resorts as far as just the footprint. 300 is pretty small compared to some of the other resorts, as you'll hear us talk about. It has basically one building. It is divided into two sections, but it's still basically one big building that you can walk from one end to the other. It has 10 guest floors, and then it has the lobby and the public space, of course. It has the Disney Skyliner and buses for transportation.
There is no club level here. and you can sleep 4 or 5. And depending on which suite you pick, you could sleep up to 12 guests, I believe, is the biggest.
Obviously, like we talked about, I'm a little biased here, but it is my favorite because I love the style of it. I love the French and Italian Riviera theming, the Mediterranean theming. I love the artwork that's throughout the resort. I love the size of the resort. I think it's the perfect size because it's just not so ginormous as some of the other resorts are. I love that the studios can sleep 5 because my girls are terrible at sleeping together. So having that extra bed is awesome. And I also love that it has 2 bathrooms it has like the split bathroom and where you have the toilet and a shower in one section and then the sink and a shower and a tub in the other section. So I like that it has the 2 shower spaces. That's really, really helpful when you have 2 teenage girls. And it does have a bath as one of them. So if you have littles, you have a spot where you can give them a bath.
This resort definitely has that luxury boutique hotel on the Mediterranean coast feeling. The atmosphere is very peaceful and refined and romantic and sophisticated, which, like each of Disney's resorts, it's intentional the way that they've made it. There are little touches of Disney throughout. I would say it is best for couples, maybe an adults only trip, honeymooners, food lovers. If you're a fan of the Skyliner, definitely a repeat Disney guest would be great here. If you are a Disney guest who wants a quieter deluxe experience. And then definitely families looking for upscale accommodations.
Yeah, I was going to say, this resort is definitely not as chaotic as some of the other resorts might feel. It just has like super, I don't know, there's just something about it. It has a very zen feel. And the smell when you walk in immediately just smacks you in the face and you immediately want to relax and go sit by the pool. It's awesome. I love it. So guests that it might not be as good for, guests that want super over the top Disney theming, it definitely has Disney theming, but it's very subtle. Little touches in all the different things, like all of the paintings that are around the resort, those are all based on Disney movies. It also has a wall of Walt Disney while he's in Europe, pictures of him in Europe. It also has a library kind of lounge area that is based on kind of Walt Disney, like loving that type of environment. It has 2 of these beautiful mosaic murals in this kind of tunnel area as you're walking out towards where the Skyliner is. One of them is themed to Tangled, so Rapunzel, and one of them is themed to Peter Pan. And they're absolutely gorgeous and very unique. There isn't anything like that I'm aware of anywhere else on the property or any of the other resorts. But it's not so much in your face kind of Disney. Families that are on a tighter budget, this is definitely not a good resort unless you just want to do like a one night just to get a deluxe stay in and then do a split stay with, in another less expensive resort. Guests that prioritize Magic Kingdom access. So the easier way to get to Magic Kingdom obviously is going to be on the monorail. And so those monorail resorts are better for that. This is easier access to Hollywood Studios and Epcot because of the Skyliner. And then if you're looking for a larger resort that has lots of recreation and lots of space, this is not it. This is just a smaller, cozier resort space.
So we're going to do a little bit of history here on this resort. It was opened December 16th, 2019. It became DVC's 15th resort because they are sprinkled throughout some of the other resorts as well. Disney wanted to create a new flagship DVC resort that felt different from anything else that they had at Walt Disney World. Rather than recreating a location, Imagineers designed the Riviera to celebrate European travel, art, architecture, fine dining, and leisurely vacations.
It has a lot of Walt and Lillian's influence, as I mentioned before. They loved travel, specifically loved traveling around Europe, and the Mediterranean, the Italian and French Riviera was one of their favorite places. So there's tons of artwork and photos, just little Easter eggs throughout the resort that point back to that influence.
Julie talked about this a little bit before, but with the Disney storytelling, even though it feels luxurious, Disney did do a great job putting touches of Disney everywhere with the mosaics, European-style murals, the original artwork featuring Disney characters and classic European art styles, and then elegant hidden Disney details throughout the resort. I like looking for the hidden Mickeys and the swirly rolls all around.
Yeah, there's actually basically on each floor in front of the elevator, it has this Fab Five are in the swirlies. So the layout, we kind of touched on this a little bit. It's very easy to navigate. It's not a big, huge resort. Everything is based in this one main building. You're not ever far from the lobby or from the restaurants, your transportation, the pool. Skyliner station is right there. It has its own Skyliner station. It's extremely convenient. One of the things, in addition to having the Skyliner, is although you do have to do bus to the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Disney Springs and like the water parks, it's still extremely convenient because you have one bus stop. You don't have to go through. We've talked about this with some of the larger resorts that it feels like forever before you get to your stop. You have one spot to wait on the bus.
Do you share a bus with a nearby resort? Like Beach, Yacht, and Boardwalk will share a Magic Kingdom bus. Riviera has its own bus.
Yeah. Yes, it does. The one thing, which I think they fit it into most places, but like because there's certain spots where, because it was built later, I think they might have had to shuffle around the bus stops at the parks. But even like at Magic Kingdom, like we're not on the first row, we're on the second row, which is, first world problems, but because it was built later, it's not in like that very first row if you're looking for like something like that, just as an FYI.
All right, let's talk about rooms and accommodations. The Riviera offers several accommodation types. These include the Tower Studios, Deluxe Studios, 1-bedroom villas, 2-bedroom villas, and 3-bedroom grand villas. Luckily, we have Julie here to walk us through because they get a little bit confusing. We are going to talk about the Tower Studios first. These are one of the most unique and most talked about rooms at Walt Disney World because they are 255 square feet. They're tiny, but they're great for a solo traveler, maybe a couple. They have a Murphy bed. Instead of 2 traditional beds, they feature a queen-size Murphy bed that will fold into the wall during the day, which will allow the room to feel much more open when the bed isn't in use. But basically, your room is your bed.
Yes. It's really funny because we stayed in one of these the first time we went to Riviera because, as we talked about, it was built and opened in December of 2019. And we actually bought into it in September of 2019. So we bought our points before the resort was actually finished. So once the resort opened, we wanted to go just on a trip. There's the 2 of us just to see it. And also it was right at the same time that Galaxy's Edge opened in 2019. So Rob wanted to go and see it without kids first. So we stayed in one of these. And the bathroom is almost as large as the living room space. It's humongous. But it is a great little room. It really is. Like it for just 2 people, I think it had plenty of space. It was not that big a deal to have just the pull down Murphy bed. I thought it was fantastic.
It is the least expensive way to stay at the Riviera, but also the smallest room on property, like across all the resorts. So that's fun.
They also don't have very many of them. Like, I think there's only maybe 20-ish because they have 2 little towers. I don't know how many rooms they have in each tower, but they don't have that many. So if you do want to get one, you need to jump on it as soon as it's available. The next option is the Deluxe Studio. This is where we stay the most just because it's kind of the next least expensive and it also sleeps 5. So it's very easy for us to stay in this space. It has the extra bed and it has the 2 showers. So it's awesome. It also has a kitchenette. It has it has a microwave, has a sink. It has like real plates and coffee cups and stuff like that if you want to use them, which, that's nice. Some people like that. We've definitely used the silverware and the plates and things like that before.
Next, we have the one-bedroom villa. This is about twice the size of the studio, 813 square feet. This does include a full kitchen, a washer and dryer, a separate bedroom, and a large living area. So the studio does not include the washer dryer, correct? It's
correct
to get to the one-bedroom villa.
There's a washer and dryer on property if you want to use it, but it just doesn't have it in the room. So that's one of the major benefits of the one bedroom is it's twice as big as the studio. It sleeps the same amount of people, but it's just a lot more space. And you have the full kitchen. So if you wanted to use, cook while you're there instead of going out to eat as much, it's really nice to have the full size kitchen for sure. The next option, I'm just going to do both of the 2 and 3 bedroom. Those are the 2 larger options. Obviously excellent for larger families, multi-generational trips, longer stays. They are going to have also the full kitchen, the washer and dryer. They're going to have multiple bedrooms, and then the large living space. Again, the design is extremely relaxing. It has very soft, neutral colors, but it also has those subtle Disney finishes. And a lot of the resorts have this, like when you pull down the Murphy bed, it has a Disney character artwork that is relevant to the theming of that particular resort. So that's really nice.
For transportation, one of the biggest advantages for this resort is obviously the Skyliner and the Skyliner station. So that it's direct access to Epcot, and then you can go to Hollywood Studios. There is the transfer at the Caribbean Beach stop, but you can also hop over to Pop Century, Art of Animation, and Caribbean Beach very conveniently, very easily, as well as the resorts around the Epcot area, Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk. I love just being able to explore all the different resorts around. So that's a great advantage. And then we did touch on this, but there is bus transportation to Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Disney Springs, and the water parks when they're operating. So your transportation pros are your dedicated Skyliner station, easy access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and then your compact resort layout. Some transportation considerations. There's no walking paths to any parks. Magic Kingdom does require a bus, and the Skyliner service can pause during severe weather.
And when that happens, they run the buses. So don't think that you're going to be stranded. It's just you don't have a bus option for Hollywood Studios or Epcot when the Skyliner is running. So also, just as an FYI, you can't take a bus there if that's what you prefer to do. You want to take a bus instead, you don't have that as an option. It's the Skyliner or nothing. Let's jump into pools and recreation. From the pool and recreation standpoint, this is not like a water park size crazy pool environment, which is kind of what we mentioned before, that a lot of people like it because it's not so chaotic. It has the main pool that does have a slide. The slide is themed to like a tower. I don't know if it's like a castle tower or not. I'm not really sure, but my girls love it. And then they also have a fun splash pad that is actually really excellent for little kids. It is themed around the Fantasia characters. It's so cute. It has a couple little tiny slides, and it has like the little water buckets that dump water, all that fun stuff. They have the quiet pool that is also super nice. And it really, like, for the most part, like, most of the kids stay over in the main pool. We've gone over to the quiet pool before, and it truly is a quiet pool. There's really not a whole lot of noise going on over there. Because it's smaller, it doesn't have a ton of crazy recreation. It does have the movies under the stars. It has campfire activities. It has lawn games like chess and bocce ball. It has the pool activities during the day. So you have the cast members that are doing the fun stuff throughout the day. And it also has a fitness center.
Let's talk dining. This is one of the Riviera's strongest selling points. Many Disney fans will actually visit this resort even when they aren't staying there just for the food. Everybody's favorite is Topolino's Terrace, the flavors of the Riviera. This is located on the top floor of the resort and is one of the most popular resorts on property. with breakfast is breakfast a la art with Mickey and friends. The characters appear in their art-inspired outfits, and you see Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy. It's known for its high-quality food. It's very beautifully plated, and it's a relaxed atmosphere. It's one of the few character breakfasts that food lovers regularly recommend, so it is hard to get, but it is so fun. And I would say, again, the theme of it's not so crazy chaotic. Like, it can be, like, you have characters and little kids, but I don't know. I don't feel like there's, like, the clapping and the dancing and the shows that some of them are. And it's outside the park, and you get to see Mickey and Minnie, so that's always another pro for that. For dinner, you have a signature dining experience. So there's, like, handmade pastas, seafood, steaks, and then, like, French and Italian inspired cuisine, but there are no characters at dinner, and it is a higher price point.
Yeah, and if you're using the Disney dining plan, the dinner is 2 credits because it's signature dining. We love, obviously, Topolino's. Topolino's is just fantastic for breakfast or dinner, but our favorite is Primo Piatto. We go there probably every day, at least once. It's their quick service restaurant on the first floor, and it's also right by the pool. So it's very easy to grab something if you wanted to for dinner. And it has tables where you can sit and eat if you want to stay there, or you can bring everything up to your room. You can do a mobile order. Same thing with the pool. You can do a mobile order and bring it out to the pool. It's the best. The other one that is also right next to the pool is called Bar Riva. It also has a fantastic menu, as well as obviously drinks. And because it's right by the pool, you can just run over and grab something and bring it back over. I think it's super underrated. It's almost like a little hidden gem that is tucked into Riviera. And I don't know that a lot of people know that it's there unless you stay there fairly often. Last but not least, Le Petit Café is where I get my morning coffee. So it's extremely important. In the morning time, it is coffee, has pastries. My girls they have this little banana bread with chocolate chips in it. They love it. That's their thing. They want to get that like every day. And it has other pastries, has other awesome things like chocolate croissants and things like that. And then sometime in the afternoon, it's like, I think maybe like 4 or 5-ish, it switches over to a wine bar. So it's cocktails and wine and desserts instead.
I love grabbing something from Le Petit Café and walking, because it's right off the lobby, and then going around the back side and sitting in the little library.
Yes. Yeah, the library. We also love, they have these 2 little balcony spaces that look out over the grounds. You can see the Skyliner moving in the little lake that's back there. We love that spot too, just to be able to sit outside, depending on how hot it is. If it's not too hot, sitting outside on that balcony, it's super fun.
So just some hidden gems of this resort. We already talked about the mosaic walkways, great photo opportunities. We talked about the artwork, but something we did not touch on yet was Topolino's Terrace at sunset. Even if you're not dining, the outdoor terrace offers great views. On a lot of evenings, you can catch glimpses of Epcot or Hollywood Studios fireworks from the rooftop. So that's fun. But even if you have breakfast, step out and just you can see most of the bubble. So that's a fun little secret up there.
A few things that clients will typically ask whenever we're talking about Riviera: is Riviera worth the price? I obviously feel like yes, it is, but I'm also a DVC member, so I use points to stay here. But you're paying for exceptional dining options. The convenience of the Skyliner is just top notch. It is a luxury boutique environment. The rooms are beautiful. They're spacious. It's just a gorgeous resort. And it's also compact. It's very easy to navigate. In general, just really chill and relaxing. It has this European vibe music playing constantly. It's everywhere. It's piped into all the speakers around the resort. You don't even realize it sometimes, but it's adding to your mood and your vibe.
Are the Tower Studios too small? For many couples, they are great value. If you are doing a longer stay or guests who may spend more time in your room, it's probably more worth it to splurge for the deluxe studio, just for the extra space, because it can get a little tight after a couple days in there.
Yeah. Is the Riviera too fancy for kids? No, not at all. We talked about the pool with the slide. You have the splash area, and you have the cast members that are doing the entertainment all throughout the day at the pool. You have the Skyliner. You have the character breakfast that is phenomenal. You have the yard games. You still have the s'mores option. You have the movies under the stars. You have all of those things. It is not too fancy for kids. My kids love it.
John does say he feels it's too fancy for him, but you're also in the Disney bubble, so they are expecting kids and families. Like, it's not like you're in Europe and they are not used to catering to children. You're Disney. They're all kid-friendly. Is the Riviera a good first-time Disney resort? Absolutely, especially for guests who value comfort. If you value convenience and like high-end dining, I think this is a great one for a first-timer.
If we're looking at Riviera compared to a few other resorts, probably its biggest, if you wanted to say it has a competitor, probably one of its biggest competitors is the Grand Floridian. The Grand Floridian is going to be better if you want that Magic Kingdom access. That's more important to you. Obviously, it also has that Victorian vibe, has the Mary Poppins vibe. And then the monorail, just in general, you want those things. Grand Flo is going to be your better option. For the Riviera, if you love the Skyliner, it's fantastic. It is a little bit more modern luxury than Grand Floridian is more that, like I was saying, it's that Victorian type luxury environment and also just the boutique atmosphere. I would also say that the Riviera is a lot more relaxing, a more relaxed environment, and the Grand Floridian is a more like hectic and chaotic just because there's so many people that come to see the lobby, especially during the holidays. There's a lot of traffic in there.
Another one that you might compare it to is the Boardwalk. So you might choose the Boardwalk for the nightlife and entertainment and more of the walkability to Epcot. So maybe if you are not a fan of the Skyliner, but the Riviera, you're going to be the quieter atmosphere. You're going to have newer rooms and a little bit more, say, just like more dining options. And it's all inside. If it's like rainy season, that's such a huge perk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to go outside. You can do everything from within the building. Okay, so Caribbean Beach is actually like basically right next to the Riviera. It's kind of across the little like pond or lake area. It is a moderate resort, so the pricing is going to be better it's going to be less expensive. And it's on the Skyliner, so they both are on the Skyliner. But this resort is ginormous. It has a very large footprint. It has kind of that like tropical village vibe, because it's Caribbean Beach, and it has the sandy beach areas and the hammocks and like a super fun pool. But it's huge. I really can't like emphasize that enough in comparison. Riviera is, on the flip side, it is deluxe pricing, but it also has that deluxe feel and the upscale dining and the luxury amenities, and it is more compact into the one building.
I will say, I feel like these two resorts act a lot like sister resorts in a sense. A lot of people will head from the Riviera and go over and pick up pizza from Caribbean Beach. Maybe people from Caribbean Beach will go over and get a latte at Le Petit Cafe. You just cannot share pools, but I do feel like a lot of people use the dining between the two if you're staying at one or the other.
I would agree. I think, to be honest with you, I think the other resorts that are on the Skyliner, the two value resorts, Art of Animation and Pop Century, I think they also will hop on the Skyliner and take it over to the Riviera for that reason as well.
All right. So with each of these resort reviews, we are going to give them a rating out of 5 stars. So for a scorecard for Disney Magic, we're going to give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Transportation, 5 stars.
Dining, 5 stars.
The pools, 4 stars.
Kid appeal, we're going to give 4 stars.
Adult appeal, 5 stars.
Resort day experience, 4 stars.
Convenience, absolutely 5 stars.
And then value, probably 3 stars, just because it is on the higher end. So it's not as attainable for everybody. So overall, Disney's Riviera Resort has quickly become one of Walt Disney World's premier deluxe resorts, not because of nostalgia, because it's newer, but because it's consistently delivering an exceptional guest experience. Some of its biggest strengths are going to be its beautiful accommodations, the outstanding dining, the Skyliner transportation, your elegant theming and attention to detail. Its biggest consideration, it comes with a premium price tag and a more subtle style of Disney storytelling. So for guests looking for a modern luxury resort with excellent transportation, incredible food, and a peaceful atmosphere, Riviera is going to be one of your best choices at Walt Disney World.
It's just the best. Period. It's the best.
I still can't believe that this one was the first one.
So to wrap up, we're going to do these reviews every week. We're going to have a bonus episode with these reviews until we get through all of them so that you can have those in your back pocket as an extra resource for when you're trying to decide what resort might be the best one for you. We look forward to going through all the resorts with you. Next in line is going to be Grand Floridian. We will chat with you then. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wanderlust and Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.